It's a chemical that's called bucket. And if you can just get that in your system, it can change your life.
Why are you asking her? She ain't never made a man wait 30 minutes.
Do I smell a whore?
No.
Hello world, it's me again. It's the Don, the Don, the Senator of Smooth and Rude, coming to you live from the 7-5. Why? Because we global, baby. Yeah. This is the Mansion in the Sky podcast where we build the lamb while we drive it. And that's why we strive to become envious, which is unconquerable and influential in every single aspect of our lives. Our focus here at the Mansion is to learn lessons from current events, either global or local, and apply it. And also stay in a mix about technology and health in a cold, calculated, and ever so changing world. So, envious ones, welcome to the home of the anti-hero. I have an interesting, very, very interesting, but short, I'm gonna make it as short as I can show for you guys today. So, first thing first is I'm gonna have the isms. I think you guys are gonna enjoy that. Then after that, we have the word of the day. Then after the word of the day, we're gonna get into the shooting that happened over the weekend. 12 injured in a shooting at a South Carolina mall, and 3 suspects were detained. Then after that, we're gonna go into former ATL Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. She was turned away from a restaurant for wearing leggings. Then we're gonna go into a topic that one of my sweethearts sent me. Thank you, sweetie. The sins of Judah. She sent it to me, very, very random. But you know what? I'm gonna read it and go through it and break it down as best as I can, because I think it's important. And then last but certainly not least, technology segment. And we're going to be talking about digital footprints and how they're more important than privacy risk. So let me go ahead and open that up. All right. So the isms. Oh, I already had that open. Cool. So I'm on it. The isms for today. I need you guys to accept the fact that you won't get your roses while you're here. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody. I want to be appreciated. Everybody wants to be appreciated. But you know what? I think life starts when you don't expect things to happen, when you don't have expectations over things that you can't control. I can't control whether somebody wants to appreciate me or respect me or not. All I can do is show up and put out and keep going and not let anybody be a roadblock or a speed bump to whatever I got going on, because that's not what we do over here at the mansion. The goal is always to be envious. Because when you're envious, then other people become envious. And that's just what it is. But don't expect anybody to give you a roses while you're still here. Just look at Nikola Tesla, for example. This man was brilliant. Absolutely world-class genius. But he didn't get his roses until 80, 100 years later. If not longer than that. He's just now getting his roses. Do you think he's around to see that? Absolutely not. He's been in his grave for a long time. A long time. People don't get their roses typically while they're alive. So I just want to start a hashtag. Hashtag give people their roses. Or roses, please. Flowers, please. But I think we give too much energy to things that we don't need to be giving energy to. If it's about the work, if it's about the effect, if it's about the legacy, then make it about the legacy. Keep on creating, keep on going, Keep on doing what you need to do. Keep on handling your business. And don't worry about, well, man, everything that I'm doing is going unappreciated. How about this? Normalize this. Normalize giving the people that you think deserve roses and flowers, who you're clearly seeing are not getting them. Normalize giving those people their flowers. How about that? But don't expect to get roses while you're still here. Don't expect it. So it'll make it that much more sweeter when you do get your flowers and your roses. I just think that's a better way to live and to move and to encourage in your life a stress-free, carefree, sucker-free life. And that's just what it is. I like that so much more. I've done so much in my life. I've helped so many people. So many people have helped me. But don't expect to get your roses while you're still here. Just keep doing what you're doing. Give yourself roses. Make sure that you celebrate yourself. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Do not worry about it. You will stress yourself out. I don't think that it's important. I really don't think that stressing out over other people is important. And looking and searching so much for validation from other people is important. Like, this life is way too short. It's way too short. I've been so used to being the youngest, and now I'm the oldest. Even though I'm still a baby and still got that baby face, ain't I handsome? But I'm just saying, keep on doing what you're doing. You might not see those roses while you're here. You might not, and that's okay.
All I'm saying, you gotta enjoy your motherfucking life. That's all the fuck I'm saying. Enjoy your goddamn life. Life is fucking short. Enjoy that shit. There is a chemical that's called fucking. And if you can just get that in your system, it can change your life.
So that's what I'm saying. Enjoy your life. Keep doing your life's work. Keep staying on your purpose. Don't expect to get your roses while you're here. Even from your loved ones. We tend to miss things more when they're gone and we don't have access to them. Just know that you make an impact, especially if you're here on this channel. Sorry, my armpit was itching. I didn't want to put my finger in my armpit, but I had to scratch it somehow. But don't expect people to appreciate you while you're here. I promise you, you'll live. Your quality of life will go up in a seismic fashion once you get that chemical called fuck it in your system. Who cares? Keep working. Keep working. Find happiness and validations in other ways through yourself. I promise you, you'll be fine. I promise you, you'll be fine. Right now, my podcasts aren't doing numbers. But every day, we're making it a little bit better. And every day, more and more people are responding because they want to become envious. They're looking for answers. They're looking for someone. I'm not saying that I'm a martyr because this is the home of the anti-heroes. But people are looking for solutions. Be that solution. But don't expect to get your flowers while you're still here. Hashtag give these people their flowers while they're here. Or hashtag give them the right arm of the Fresh Prince. Do you feel me? Hashtag I pull this out. Open palm season. Word of the day.
Funambulism.
Um.
Funambulism.
Hold up. I gotta hear him say it. I had it right before I came on.
Funambulism.
Funambulism. Funambulism. So now, it stands for tightrope walking and a show especially of mental agility. Other words that can be expanded out of this funambulism is funambulist, which is also a noun. Now, did you know, which I'm sure none of you knew because I didn't know, back in ancient Rome, tightrope walking was a popular spectacle at public gatherings. The Latin word for tightrope walking is fenublis, sheesh, man, I cannot talk today. Fenubula, from Latin funis, meaning rope, and ambular, to walk. Over time, this fancy word for an impressive act of physical skill and agility also came to mean an impressive act or mental skill or agility. I can only imagine, like I've seen, y'all remember that guy who walked across or walked in between the World Trade Centers? Oh yeah, also I do have my coffee. And I have my smokes. Eventually I'm gonna quit. That's my goal for this year, is to quit. Experience life on my own terms, with nothing holding me down and being hooked to nothing except coffee. I snort coffee beans. I put coffee beans in a syringe and I shoot it up. I put coffee in my IV every single morning. But yeah, I thought that was amazing though. When the guy walked in between the two World Trade buildings. I thought that was amazing. Rolling into the first topic of the day, coming to us through the Associated Press. Once again, this happened over the weekend. It's so sad that this is becoming normalized and people are becoming desensitized to life. You know, hashtag be human again. Be human again. I think I might make that a hat. Be human again. I think that would be brilliant. But this is sad. It's sad. You know, it's something going on in this world. I mean, it's a cold world to begin with, but for this to continue to happen time after time after time after time again, what are we gonna do? But you can't take them guns away. That's what you can't do. You can't take the guns away. All right. It's coming to us through the Associated Press by Miss Michelle Liu. Thank you. 12 injured in shooting at South Carolina Mall. 3 detained. And also, when I do show these videos, I can't really show them with too much sound, even though this one does not have sound. But I've been hit with a couple of, not copyright strikes, but notices. All right. 10 people were shot and 2 others injured in a shooting at a shopping mall in South Carolina's capital that authorities do not believe was a random attack. 3 people who had firearms had been detained in connection with the Saturday afternoon shooting at Columbian Central. Columbian Police Chief W.H. Skip Holbrook said. He said at least one of these 3 people fired a weapon. We don't believe this was random, Skip said. Holbrook said, we believe they knew each other and something led to the gunfire. Authorities said no fatalities have been reported, but that 8 of the victims were taken to the hospital. Of those 8, 2 were in critical condition and 6 were in stable condition, Holbrook said. The victims ranged in age from 15 to 73, he said. The mall was being evacuated store by store, and police urged everyone still sheltering inside to call 911 so that authorities could find them. I hope that the decision makers do understand that guns don't shoot people. People shoot people. It's a people problem. Clearly, there was some animosity. One person says, I guess gun laws don't work. You guys can take the guns away like they've been trying to do for the longest. People are still going to have guns and things are going to happen. So you might as well allow people to have weapons. Like, I believe that you should make firearm training mandatory and allow more people to carry weapons. Make it, at least make the process more strenuous, but do not take that Second Amendment away. I'm telling you, it's going to be a mistake. It's going to be a mistake. You're not going to be able to, it's going to be more ghost guns than ever. First of all, people still going to have them. If there's a will, there's a way to carry some steel. And people still will do what they need to do. It's still going to be school shootings. It's just people won't have a means or a legal means to be able to protect themselves if you guys do decide you want to diminish and wipe clean the Bill of Rights, number one, but two, that Second Amendment about them firearms. Because best believe, if my life's in danger, I'm firing an arm at somebody. Best believe. So that's just what it is. It's sad. It really is. It People just don't have any sense. They don't care out here. Times are trying. Times are really, really trying. With inflation going up, and this don't even sound like it has anything to do with money. Nothing to do with money. I bet you this was a case of animosity. Somebody was talking, or somebody probably owed somebody money, and they took it upon themselves to use force. Now, this topic right here about former mayor of Atlanta, Miss Bottoms. First of all, I just want to say she a fine sister, but that short haircut, I'm not really a fan of. I mean, it's some beautiful women out here who rock their hair, and she's definitely one of them. But it's something about women with that haircut that triggers me a little bit. What triggers me about it is a lot of them display a little bit of nigga energy, just a little bit. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, and y'all cannot like me. I don't have no issues with that, but vet them out, see what they say. So this topic right here, I think it's funny because I pulled up her Twitter. I pulled it up. So let's look at that. If I can look at it. Hold on. Things won't freeze up. Give me a second, guys. So I pulled up her Twitter. And this is what she said. She said, "It is odd that a restaurant in a mall parking lot turns away customers." Throwing shade. Clearly she's salty. Turn away customers in mall attire. Asked if I could sit in the bar area and was told no. Rules are the rules. Just wondering if the woman who came in immediately after me, who I did not see come back out, was also denied service. Clearly she was not. Now, I had the website of the place pulled up, but looking at this, first of all, if you know anything about Bankhead, that's an affluent area of Atlanta. A lot of money over there. A lot of money over there. And let's read what it says down here in the polite notice section. Maybe you missed this. I don't know. Because it seemed like you just came in and you just wanted to have a seat. And that's fine. Because they're a restaurant. They want to get money. But what's the dress code? For the comfort of all guests and to better deliver on our promise of a refined atmosphere, proper dress is required. Thank you for not wearing gym attire, sweatpants, tank tops, hats, clothing with offensive language or images, exposed undergarments. What are leggings? Gym attire, borderline sweatpants. A lot of women who wear leggings haven't even showered. So you were in the wrong. Don't throw shade. Don't do that. Now you try and go in there because you got clout, because you were the former mayor. But they turned your butt away because you were underdressed. That's on you. That's not on them. They have standards. Can they not have standards? Can they not have standards? That's my only question. Can I not have standards, or can they not have standards? And then when you get turned away because you were the former mayor of ATL, then you go up here and you bash. Matter of fact, thank you, Miss Bottoms, because next time I'm in ATL, I'm going to make sure I'm dressed to a T. I'm going to make sure I'm sharp. Hairline, all my angles are good. My line is good. Hair waved up, dyed up, copper red, copper rich. And I'm going to make sure that I go in there and I'm going to be like, where does she want to sit? Because I'm going to sit there. Don't do that. Because I could only imagine if that was my restaurant and I've upheld the standard. I've turned away everybody who was not on the dress code. And you come in here and you're not on the dress code, well, if I tell you yes, that means that everybody else that comes in after you and they see your pictures of you, Snapchat, IG, Twitter, you got leggings on, they're going to think that's okay. Nah. I have a reputation to uphold. I have a reputation that precedes me. And I'm going to uphold that. Don't throw shade. Odd that a restaurant in a mall parking lot turns away customers. Man, don't do that. That's itchy. Your energy is real itchy. Real bourgeois. That's not cool. Don't do that. So, do I even need to really read through this? On the Upscale Steakhouse's website, yeah. Explain that enforcing the dress code is necessary in order to deliver on their promise of a refined atmosphere. They have standards. That's whack. And then here comes Jamel Hill. Interesting how that particular Capitol Grill has a dress code, because I've never encountered one before at Capitol Grill. And leggings are just casual attire. Some people stay doing the most for no reason. How is that doing the most? How is that doing the most? How is that doing the most? They said a refined atmosphere. They got goals. They have goals. Don't you have goals? If your goal was to tweet 100 tweets and Twitter decided to shut your account down at 99, what you gonna say? Well, why? I didn't. But let's say that they say, hey, you cannot say the word the. And you said the in your last 2 tweets. So you tweeted 99 tweets. Twitter says, hey, you cannot say the word the. Your last 2 tweets, you say the. 4 times. And they shut your account down. And you want to be the most consistent tweeter on Twitter. They got standards too. They got rules. You didn't follow the rules. She didn't follow the rules. Leggings are not upscale dress. Nah, that's gym attire. That's house attire. Yeah, okay. Now, look, don't call me Christian because I don't like gray. I don't like gray areas. This conversation gonna go into the gray areas, and people who watch this are gonna want to take it and blow it out of context. And I don't care. I'm not entertaining that kind of itchy, moist energy. I'm not entertaining it. Go get a life and do something better with your life. I'm just saying that if you're watching this show and you're an envious one, we don't give energy to that. It's other things to do. It's other things to do. You should have known what the dress code was. And you should have assumed leggings is not part of that. That is gym attire. That is house attire. A lot of women who wear leggings and then go out into the public haven't even showered. Facts. Facts. Do better. Do better. You're supposed to be setting an example. You're probably old enough to be my mother. Do better. And then for Jamel Hill to come out the side, come out the goddamn off the bench and try and throw a sucker punch at the same restaurant, like, nah, that's not cool. I'm not gonna go for that. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. So we're not going to keep giving energy to that. We're going to move it. We're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving. That's not cool at all. Y'all should know better than that. Y'all too old for that stuff. All right. Man. Yeah. I'm going to have to delete my cookies. All right. So this article right here is called, well, this is taking out of the Bible. She sent it to me a couple of days ago. And like usual, she always gives me her opinion. She asked me in my opinion. And I know what a good woman is, but I don't even want a good woman. I don't want a bad woman, but I don't even want a good woman. That's not what I want. I want to create. I want to invent. I want to continue to push forward. That's what I want to do. I don't want marriage. I don't want a family. I don't want that. I love my friends. If my friends decide they want to have kids, then those will be my kids. But my legacy will be my work. And that is what I'm proud of. My work gives me validation. I want to live forever through my content, not in the physical or the digital, where I'm conscious. No. I don't want a good woman. I don't want a bad woman either. I love women. Best believe. If you think I don't love women, something wrong with you. And if you think me getting women is an issue, well, you just got to go out with me. That's part of the reason why I don't like going out sometimes. It's because I get too much attention. Too much. I'm just like, I'm good. I want to relax. I just want to mind my business. So we're going to go through this, and we're going to build a land while we drive it. I have not read this article beforehand, so we're just going to go through it as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. So this is coming to us through, hold on, I want to pull up my, I ain't worried about that. All right, this is coming to us through Isaiah 3, the sins of Judah. This is a profile of a society under judgment. Now, one of the things that she was saying, that I thought was interesting was, we've had conversations about, man, if that ain't about a bitch, internet just doing what it want to do. I don't like that. Okay, getting back into it. Internet was tripping for whatever reason, but so in regards to the article and what my friend and something about one of the many conversations we've had a lot of conversations, but she says, I'm not sure if you read the scriptures as in the Bible. I grew up in the church, but I've been on demon time for the last decade. So let's just be real. I've been on demon time for the last decade, and I can't help that. But anyways, I'm curious of your thoughts on this. Wondered if it reminded you of anything present day. My word of caution, pick your woman wisely, my friend. If she is not a godly woman, she may very easily be caught up in the ways of the world, like it mentions here in Isaiah. And if you want a godly woman, make sure you are ready for her. Anything that is happening currently has already happened and been written about and addressed. The Bible truly does hold all the answers for life. Love ya, friend. And I agree. Everything's already happened. All right, let's get into it. Profile of a society under judgment. So chapters or verses 1 through 7 talk about shortages of food, water, and competent leaders. For behold, the Lord of hosts, takes away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stock and the store, the whole supply of bread and the whole supply of water, the mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet, and the diviner and the elder, the captain of 50 and the honorable man, the counselor and the skillful artisan, which is me, and the expert enchanter, which is also me. I will give children to be their princes, and babes, that's not in the Bible, and babes shall rule over them. What the French toast? Who wrote this shit? The people will be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child will be insolent toward the elder. Insolent. What does that mean? Audaciously rude or disrespectful. Yep. And the base toward the honorable. Yep. When a man takes hold of his brother in the house of his father, saying, you have clothing, you be our ruler, and let these ruins be under your power. In that day he will protest, saying, I cannot cure your ills, for in my house is neither food nor clothing. Do not make me a ruler of the people. Now this is okay. So this is the breakdown. Now, my interpretation of this is that there's a change going on and coming along. That the ways of respect and honor are no more. Things that we should respect, ideologies, ideas, like respect your elders, that a lot of us grew up on, will be no more and no longer. That is the right way to do things. You respect the people who put you on. You respect people who have the knowledge. You respect your elders. They cemented the path for the youth and the ones to come up after them. Don't disrespect them. But that's not what it is. All right, so it's breaking it down verse by verse. Let's see. Okay. Their ill treatment of the poor, Samuel, Judah and the judgment of the Lord against them. Man, yeah, that's the last one. So I'll run through the whole thing. This is interesting. All right. So what they're doing is they're gonna do a breakdown of every line in this. For behold, the Lord of hosts takes away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stock in the store. God's judgment on Judah at this point includes taking away their food and water. It's happening now. Like, I did an article a couple episodes ago talking about how the Norfolk International Airport is putting $33 million into it to help food supply chains be able to move more easily. Also, in this area, they're putting billions of dollars into the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel right now, so food supply chains can get to that side of the water. Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, Suffolk, we can throw those in there, Chesapeake, Hampton, Newport News, Gloucester, all of these areas, even though Gloucester is 804, and Yorktown, I believe 757 as well, or 948. But it's happening everywhere. Ships are being stuck out at sea in California, even though that was months ago, but it's still happening. Truck drivers are going on strike in places. This is happening right now. If you know history, which I can't say I'm an absolute connoisseur of history, but the more that I learn, the more that I'm becoming in love with history, because it predicts what's going to happen next. And I will just say, like I've stated in other episodes, that when this intelligent explosion, as in when artificial intelligence becomes to the point where it can truly be independent of the human race, that's my prediction is that's when the end will come for humanity. They will take whichever humans they want as POWs, and that will be it. And humans will be in hiding. I hope I'm not alive during that time, but if I am, best believe I will be rogue. I will go rogue. I will go postal. I'll be prepared. So Isaiah 3 chapter 3 verse 1 is a good example of the way two Hebrew words may be used, each translated Lord. In this verse, the first time Lord is used, it translates the Hebrew word Adonai, which means master, owner, sovereign. It is a broad word that can be applied to a human master as well as the Lord God, the ultimate master. The second time Lord is used and is printed in small capitals, it translates the Hebrew word Yahweh, which is the sacred name of the true God. So it may be that the Hebrew Bible could use the phrase Adonai, Yahweh, which could be translated into English as Lord, but it actually means Master Yahweh. That phrase appears more than 300 times in the Old Testament. Most of the time, the phrase is translated Lord God in the New King James Version. The specific phrase here, the Lord of hosts, is used more than 15 times. This is just telling us how many times. It emphasizes the majesty and power of God, because the idea behind Lord of hosts is that God is commander in chief. Drowsy and sluggish minds. For God has no need of titles, but our ignorance and stupidity must be aroused by perceiving his glory. All right. The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet. The judgment is worse than just taking away food and water. God also brought judgment on Jerusalem and Judah by depriving them of godly, competent leaders on every level. The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet and the diviner and the elder, the captain of 50 and the honorable man, the counselor and the skillful artisan and the expert enchanter. Instead of wise, competent leaders, God will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. The eventual fulfillment of this prophecy is found in 2 Kings chapter 24, verse 14, which says, also he carried into captivity all Jerusalem, all the captains and all the mighty men of valor, 10,000 captives, and all the craftsmen and smiths. None remained except the poorest people of the land, which everything is being run by a deep state, a shadow government, people that we will never meet. You'll never be able to make enough money to be in the same spots with these people. It's just good things to understand. Vote, pay your taxes, and really just stay out the way. Know what's going on. Stay out the way, man. Stay out the way. And know what's good for you. Know what's bad for you. But this principle of God's judgment endures to this day. One way God may bring judgment on a nation is to curse them with incompetent, ungodly leaders, which we have. When you have look, I don't want to be Malcolm. I don't want to be Martin. I don't want to be Megar. I don't want to be Marvin or Marcus. I don't want to be any of those guys as far as it comes to civil rights for ADOS people. I don't care. But when you have, congratulations to Keisha Brown Jackson. But when you have people like that who are being, who can't even answer questions like, what is a woman? That's an example. That is an example. And then when someone addresses you directly, says, hey, why can't you answer what a woman is? And you say, I'm not a biologist. Disingenuous at best. It's not smart for ADOS people to even engage in that fight anymore. It's a waste of time. Make better use with your time. Save yourself. If you really want to help black people, teach your kids better. Teach them the history that is mandatory for all black people to know. But besides that, get money. Get money. Get assets. Build a network. And do not embrace the struggle. Forget the struggle, man. Who wants to struggle? That's what I never got. I didn't grow up in a struggle, but the people that I did grow up with, a lot of them did struggle. And they do music, or some of them do music, and in their music, all they do is talk about the struggle. Talk about, I went through this, I did that. Nobody wants to struggle, man. We don't care. The people running this world don't care. Let's accomplish something. So if you're smart, man, don't even embrace that fight. Don't do that. Don't be a martyr. You help who you can help. You do your part by helping your circle, your 6 degrees of separation. Well, everybody knows everybody through 6 degrees of separation, but help your circle. Help the people that you can touch. You teach them the right ways. The young ones, you got to start them out right young. You help them, and that's how you help black people. But the only way that we can really help black people is the ones who are degenerates, deviants, not doing anything, talking about, oh, but I fuck more bitches than you. You got to let them die off. And that doesn't mean contribute to the homicide or murder of that person or assassination of that person. Y'all do know difference between murder and assassination, right? Murder is just someone was killed. Assassination is a prominent figure who was murdered or killed. So Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Barbara down the block, whose boyfriend didn't like the fact that she was talking to a white dude, and he ended up killing her, offing her, turning off her TV. That's just murder, and that's messed up. Back on topic. But this principle of God's judgment endures to this day. One way God may bring judgment on a nation is to curse them with incompetent, ungodly leaders. Often, this is the simplest avenue of judgment, giving people what their wicked hearts desire. This crisis of leadership can happen even in economically prosperous times. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 7 is part of this same prophecy. The terrible effect of this judgment of God, the granting of incompetent and ungodly leaders, may not be immediately seen, but it will be certainly seen apart from the repentance of a nation and the mercy of God. I mean, we're living in those times right now. When you have a sleepy leader putting emphasis and resources into crack vials, cold calculated world. I'm telling you, in my 30 young years of life with this baby face, I didn't make it this far by being slow. Know what's going on, but stay out the way. Stay out the way. You can't go anywhere outside this earth. Most of us don't have enough money to even afford a ticket on a space shuttle to even make it to wherever else it is outside in space, outside of this atmosphere. But stay out the way. Just know what's going on. Know that something is going to happen. And hope, and if you're a praying person, pray that you don't get caught in that fire. You don't get caught in that shit storm, shit show. It's happening right now. This country is being cursed. This world is being cursed. This world is on fire. It's up in flames. And just by knowing what's going on and being prepared, now you're being covered. You know, I grew up in the church, but I was shitty. I was very shitty. I had sex in the church. I would rather be outside smoking cigarettes or sleep in the back of the church up in the balcony. But they did treat me like a superstar, though, because I was talented. I played the sax. I sang. I did everything. And they did treat me like a star. But what was my point? I forgot my point. Just know what's going on. Oh, yeah. No, my point was that what I do understand God from God or upper higher powers, whoever may be listening to this, because this is not a religious channel. I'm telling y'all, this is not this. This is for people who can have conversations with other people who have other beliefs. And as long as you don't develop a moisturization type of disease while you're having these conversations and get your G-string in a knot or get your silk boxes in a knot while you're having these conversations, then you can have these conversations and you may grow up a little bit. It's a big world out there and a lot of things we don't understand. But just be open to having conversations with people. You will be amazed at what you learn and who actually likes you for you. But you got to be open to it. But God, and my sense and the way that I was raised, I'm cool with the Christian way of life. I'm okay with that. I know it's other ways. and I never will denounce that. Now, I don't really agree with committing suicide, going up on planes with bombs and stuff like that and blowing shit up and having a virgin promised to me. I mean, I got more game than Monopoly, and I can go get me one. Maybe not a virgin, but I can go get me a woman and not have to kill myself. I'd rather experience that on life, or I'd rather experience that on life. I'd rather experience that on Earth. And that don't make sense to me. But let's get through this. The people will be oppressed. This comes from the ungodly, incompetent leadership, and there will be a breakdown of order in society. The child will be disrespectful toward the elder and the base towards the honorable. For there is hardly any conduct more offensive or more fitted to disturb our minds than where the worst examples of every sort are publicly exhibited by magistrates, while no man utters a syllable against them, but almost all give their approbation. Yep. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. The Great Reset, as they call it. Back in the day, they called it the New World Order. This is what it is. You have clothing, you be our ruler, and let these ruins be under your power. Things will become so bad that in the minds of the people, the smallest achievements will qualify a man for leadership. Yet even such a man will not want to lead. In that day, he will protest, saying, I cannot cure your ills. Do not make me a ruler of the people. It is astonishing how realistically the prophet is here able to describe the consequences of a total collapse of the state. Anyone who remembers the months that followed May 1945 in Germany will have the sensation in reading this passage of being carried right back to those days. Look, this is all happening right now. Like, even when you had Schwarzenegger and he was elected governor over in California, or you have the governor out in New York, Cuomo, out there, man. Have y'all seen those pictures of him? Let's see. Cuomo. This was the governor of New York. Let's see. That's funny. This man had nipple rings, bruh. Thotty. And then they got him up out of there. Come on, man. They got that man up out of there. Pervert. I'm a pervert too, but I'm not a pervert like that. I guess when it comes to him, I'm a prude. And I'm cool with that. Why Judah is ripe for judgment. For Jerusalem stumbled and Judah has fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord. To provoke the eyes of his glory, the look of their countenance witnesses against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They do not hide it. Woe to their soul, for they have brought evil upon themselves. Say to the righteous that it shall be well with them, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Woe to the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him. As for people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, those who lead you cause you to err and destroy the way of your paths. Let's see. This is interesting. This is. Their tongues and their doings are against the Lord. Jerusalem and Judah have sinned in what they say and what they do. In fact, what they say and what they do provoke the eyes of his glory. It is easier to think that what we do is offensive to God than to think that what we say can provoke the eyes of his glory. But we are commanded to glorify God by what we say just as much as by what we do. Jesus said, for every idle word men may speak, they will give account of it in the day of judgment. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. Let's see. Declare their son sin in Sodom. They do not hide it. I mean, if social media right now is not a clear indication of what was said thousands of years ago in this basic instructions before leaving Earth, I don't know what it is. Everything's on full display now. Everything is on full display now. This is what it is. We're out in the open with everything, especially on Twitter. I indulge in it. I know I'm part of the problem. I've allowed the internet to have a hold on me. I've allowed life to have a hold on me that's not healthy. That's why I say we build this lamb while we drive it. Because every day we're working to be better. The goal is to become envious, unconquerable. What do I mean by becoming unconquerable? Not allowing addiction to come into your life, as in alcoholism, tobaccoism, meth teethism, busting down busted Pillsbury biscuit can isms, procrastinationisms, the isms, the isms, the isms, the isms, the isms, the isms. Not allowing the isms to conquer you. That's what I mean by becoming envious, which is, by definition, it can be a noun, as in an idea, or it can be an action, a verb. Not letting people, places, things, ideas deviate you from conquering your mission and your goal. Influential. There are more people who contribute to this than that contribute to pushing things forward in a positive way that everybody can get something off of in a positive way. We need some positivity in this world. We need it. This will never be a positive world. There's too many people on some fuck shit. There's too many people on fuck shit. There's too many moist people in this world. There's too many sandy people in this world. And that's why I push envy. Envious. Follow that definition. Unconquerable. Just accomplishing the unconquerable part of that definition, that lifestyle, you're already doing more than half of the people out here. I'm working on it. I am working on it. And some of you are already there, or some of you are stuck at the same place that I'm at. But let's get on this. Let's move it forward. Let's push the envelope further than we've ever pushed it before. It's time to live the life that we want. It's time to build a life that we want. Nobody else is going to do it for us. Nobody's going to give us our flowers while we're alive. You got to think like that. If you do that, the influence comes automatically. When you're on your stuff, the influence already comes. You don't know who you influence every single day. You have no idea who you influence. Don't worry about that. Just worry about doing what you're supposed to do. This is inevitable. This is going to happen. there was a red button already put here on this planet, a self-destruct button already put here on this planet. We were built to destroy ourselves through technology. Straight up. Technology will be the end of humanity. It will kill us off. I'm predicting that now. That is an ism. Technology will kill us off. Their tongues and their doings are against the Lord. I did that. The look on their countenance witnesses against them. The very look on their faces is evidence of their guilt. Either they have the smirk of the reprobate or the downcast gaze of those under conviction. Impure propensities are particularly legible in the eyes. Whoever has beheld the face of a debauchery or a prostitute knows this. Of these it may be said, they wish to appear what they really are. They glory in their inequity. This is the highest pitch of ungodliness. Slut walk. Amber Rose on a slut walk. The WAP culture. And like I said, I'm on my demon time. I'm very much right here with it. Sorry. I'm on demon time. I've been on demon time for a very long time. And I'm trying to do better. I'm really trying to do better. Because I want people to live the life that they want. I'm going to get what I want. But I really want people to live a better life, man. You shouldn't have to keep living this life on other people's terms. Live it on your terms. And they declare their sin as Sodom. They do not hide it. Their sin is openly displayed, and they have no sense of shame. The cultural dynamic in Isaiah's day was probably much the same as in our time. Yeah, it was the exact same. They just didn't have the technology that we had. In the name of frankness and honesty, and let's not be hypocrites, all kinds of sins are approved, and no one is allowed to proclaim a standard unless they live up to it perfectly. I mean, my goodness, man. My goodness, this is exactly what is going on right now. The moisturization of America. The moisturization of America. This is what's going on. Nobody wants to take accountability for what is going on, what's happening. Everybody wants to be in their feelings. Everybody wants to say, oh, don't fat shame this person. But we live in a country with the fattest people in the world. But you say don't fat shame. Bitch, you unhealthy. Get it together. People participate in gluttony in this country. What is gluttony? Matter of fact, I'm not going to do that. We're going to let Miriam talk to you. What is gluttony? Do you participate in it? I'm skinny as fuck. Ain't no way I could participate in gluttony. Gluttony, excess in eating or drinking, greedy or excessive indulgence. How many people participate in that? I might be a glutton when it comes to cigarettes. Once upon a time, I might have been a glutton when it comes to sex. But I don't even want women around me like that. A pain in the ass. For real. Too much meat. Gotta give them too much meat. Gotta give women too much meat. I'm serious. Y'all think it's funny. Y'all think it's funny. You really have to give these women too much meat. What do I mean by meat? I'm talking about money, energy, attention, and time. Shout out to my uncle, Coach Greg Adams. He came up with that. Money, energy, attention, time. You gotta give him too much. I don't want y'all around like that. I love women, but I don't want y'all around like that. But this is exactly what's going on today. Nothing different. Nothing different. Child support system is the real reason I don't want to get married. Or I really don't even want women around me like talking about. You look at them wrong, they get pregnant. You say you don't want the kid, they say they want it. Then they're incentivized and they're encouraged to go ahead and take resources from you. Abortion is outlawed. And I could understand, even though I'm for abortion, I could understand why it's outlawed. But let them abort them kids. Let them abort them kids. Or they not kids yet, them fetuses. Let them abort them. That. They body, they choice. Up until a certain extent. Me, if I get one pregnant, I'm going to say I don't want it. Therefore, I should not be obligated to pay for anything that you bring into the world, especially if I say I don't want it. But that's not how it's set up. That's not the rules. I'm not finna pull up any facts about child support. There are too many videos out there that break it down to a science. They break it down. I don't need to go into that. This is going on right now. It's openly on display. I'm not even gonna say especially in the ADOS black culture. It's everybody. All right, let's keep going. Outward decency. This is gonna be a long show. I thought I was gonna be able to cut it short, but I'm in my vault right now. Fuck a bag. We want a vault. Why? Because a vault's bigger than a bag. I want the vault. I want the vault in Bank of America. I don't want the bag. Because people keep important things in the vault, things that are worth more than the money in the bank. Gold, valuables, and the money. I want the vault. I don't want the bag. And look, every time I stop, I'm just like, I'm making notes on editing notes. So please forgive me. Outward decency is important. It is important not to talk about many sins, even though they exist and sometimes touch the church. It is through these means that God's people declare a standard, even though they or the word do not perfectly measure up to a standard. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 12 matters here. For it is shameful even to speak of those things which are done by them in secret. One of the most destructive lies of our time is that it is wrong or hypocritical to have a standard that we don't live up to. No one has always told the truth, yet it is right and good to teach our children don't lie. It would be wrong and destructive for someone to answer, you can't tell your child not to lie. You have lied in the past. You are a hypocrite. This attitude in our society translates into a certain result, a wholesale lowering of standards. Also, the charge of hypocrisy is false. It is not hypocritical to promote a standard you don't perfectly meet. Hypocrisy is when you pretend to keep the standard but do not, or when you do not keep the standard but think that others should. That's why I always say over here, we build the lamb while we drive it. We build the Lamborghini, Tesla, whatever your car is, your dream car. I'm not saying the Lamb is my dream car. It just rolls off the tongue like a R. But that's why I say I'm here in the trenches with you. Got up out, made it out the city, but you still know what it is. It's going on today. It's not much more I can put on that. That put it perfectly. That literally is breaking it down to a molecule. And see, I'm thank you, sweetie, for sending this article to me. Thank you. Thank you. Cause we have had these conversations. Now that I'm going through this article and I'm breaking it down the way that I am, we literally have had these conversations so many times. And she's a whole lot more savvy than I am. And she part of this too. But I'm definitely a part of the problem. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh well, you need to be perfect and you need to praise God and wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna the water. No, I'm not finna sit up here and tell you praise him, praise him, praise him, praise him. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is, amongst all this craziness, get a grip, nigga. Get a grip. Find yourself. Withdraw. You can save yourself. I don't like, let's say that we do 110, 100, 300, like Chief Keef said, do believe in heaven and hell. Even though I don't believe that they're physically places, I think it's all a state. But let's say that heaven is a place that you go. I don't believe that living the most upstanding tight butt lifestyle is going to necessarily bring you to heaven. Especially with the way that the world is changing and with technology going the way that it is. I think doing things like this, excuse me, thought I had to sneeze. I think doing things like this, saving as many people as possible, at least put you in the running to get a ticket, to at least have the conversation at the gates. And even if you do get a ticket and you get to the gates, you still might don't even get in. But I do know that it was designed for humanity, or I can't say that I do. I believe and I think that it was designed for humanity to off itself. Woe to their soul, for they have brought evil upon themselves. God did not have to do anything unique or special to bring this judgment on Jerusalem and Judah. All they had to do was leave them alone and allow them to have brought evil upon themselves. Look, I just said that. I literally just said that. When the Lord gives a nation the leadership they desire and deserve, it can either be a blessing or a curse. In Judah's case, in the time of Isaiah, it was a curse. Say to the righteous that it shall be well with them, for I just noticed that the audio is coming out in mono. Nice. Anyways, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. Like the invention of the internet and social media is such a blessing. There's so much information out there, but at the same time, while we're living in the genesis of the artificially intelligent era, we're also living in a broad, vast, but small time period on the grand scheme of timelines on Earth, the era of misinformation. So at the same time, you have the era of information, but then also you have the era of misinformation, fake news going on at the same time. the metaverse is literally a place where you can recreate yourself. You can be a whole total loser in the physical, biological realm, but in the digital world, you could be a megastar, a digitally renowned music artist, or soccer player, or model, or whatever it is that you may come up with in that digital realm. And that's just what it is. The fruits are the hens are coming home to roost, the chicken are coming home to roost. They shall eat the fruit of their doings, for the reward of his hand shall be given him. God will give both the righteous and the wicked the reward they deserve. For the righteous, this is a comfort. For the wicked, it is a curse. Says it right there. If this is what you believe in, it says it right there. So this also alludes to what I was saying about trying to become a martyr. I'm going to speak for brown people, as in people who have African ties or Caribbean ties, who want to do amazing and exceedingly abundant things for our people. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Our people are so far gone that any type of resistance against that mindset is not really going to cause any type of effect. The only way that it'll be a change is if the ones who aren't contributing to anything, the ones who are like, well, I fuck more bitches than you, dumb niggas. And yeah, I am salty about those niggas, because them niggas tried to bully me when I was a kid. But at the same time, now that I'm older and I have more perspective and I changed the way that I looked at things, and then the things that I looked at changed, they ain't shit to me. I'm better than them. They don't contribute to nothing except making kids. Shit, if you could fuck my girl, have her. She won't good for me anyways. And look, for the ones who may be atheists or believe in something totally different, I think I can say comfortably that we all believe in karma or energy. It's good karma, it's bad karma. This right here is confirmation that if you do your best in doing right, as in doing right by people, that something will come from it. That you will get your roses. You will get your flowers if you do right. When nobody's looking, if you do right, you will get your flowers. You'll get your roses. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. You will get your roses if you do right while nobody's looking. Don't sweat it. Like the old people say, well, you just gotta live. You'll get it. I don't need to go over that anymore. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Again, the Lord both declares and bemoans his judgment on Judah, that they have been given incompetent and ungodly leadership. Those who lead you cause you err and destroy the way of your path. Women rule over them. This was seen as a curse, not a blessing. Ooh. Women rule over them. God may raise up particular women at particular times to be leaders in different spheres. Deborah and Esther in Judges 4-5, chapter 4-5, are examples of this, but this is entirely different from a society where, in general, women rule over them. Such a society is cursed and not blessed. It's happening now. It's going on now. 304s can't be told shit. You can't tell these 304s shit. They don't care. If you don't believe me, go to Twitter. It's a lawless place, and the 304s is having it up. Pussy being sold everywhere. I'm trying to tell you. You don't have to be on every single piece of technology, leading the forefront with the flag, with the Olympic torch in the front, leading the race. But know what the hell's going on. This is the beginning of the end. It's already happened. But this time around, like it'll come in cycles. So when we're gone, it'll just happen again until that intelligent explosion happens where society is advancing so fast that humans can't keep up. Then the AI, they're going to view us as animals, just like how we view dogs and cats. They're going to view us as pets. I believe my thoughts conclude and summarize. It's interesting times, man. We're living in a very pivotal time right now. And it's interesting to know. It's hard to talk to, like, my mom. It's hard to talk to her about things like this. Because one, she don't care because she old. But two, some people just like for things just to be what it is. And some people like for their way and their standard of living to not be interrupted. And that's okay. But if I have to bring children into this world, I want to know what's going on. I want to be prepared. If I just so happen to choose to bring children into this world, and at this moment in time, I don't want kids. I don't want to bring them into this. It's by the time they get to teenage level, it's no telling what they've been exposed to. It's no telling. Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. God's case against Judah, their ill treatment of the poor. The Lord stands up to plead and stands to judge the people. The Lord will enter into judgment with the elders of his people and his princes. You have eaten up the vineyard. The plunder of the poor is in your houses. What do you mean by crushing my people and grinding the faces of the poor, says the Lord God of hosts. The Lord stands up to plead and stands to judge the people. Here, the Lord is both a prosecutor, stands up to plead, and a judge against Judah. When you are in court and a prosecutor and a judge are the same person, you know you are going to be found guilty. The plunder of the poor is in your houses. What do you mean by crushing my people and grinding the faces of the poor? God's charge against the elders and the princes of Israel is not that they have failed to help the poor. That would be bad in itself. But far worse than that, they have robbed the poor and taken advantage of their poverty to enrich themselves. It's happening now. It's always been happening. It's happening now. Part of what's going on today in this time period is post-COVID. Right now, there is this is like the gold rush right now. And if you don't have a YouTube channel and you're not putting out content right now, we don't know what you're doing. I don't have much Bitcoin, but the way to go is online. It's been like that for the past 30 years, but the gap is getting bigger, as in the rich and the poor. So what you gonna do? This is the age of information. You gotta figure it out. If you're ready, the right people will appear. But you need to figure it out. It's so many ways to get money. And I'm just now waking up myself. And I say, you know what? I need to put myself out there even more. And since I've been doing this, I feel alive. I feel absolutely alive. And I hope that what I say doesn't affect my future employment. But I find it necessary that this needs to be said coming from me and my voice. All right, where are we? Sinful. So I think this is what she was alluding to when she sent the article to me. All right, so this is verses 16 through 23. The sinful women of Judah in the judgment of the Lord against them. Moreover, the Lord says, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, as in thotty, scornfully and condescendingly proud, arrogant, high, lofty, bold, disdainfully or contemptuously proud, arrogant, or thotty. I prefer thotty. And walk with outstretched necks and wanton eyes. What does that mean? Adjective, merciless, inhumane, having no just foundation or provocation, malicious. Yep. Walking and mincing as they go, making a jingling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will strike with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will uncover their secret parts. In that day the Lord will take away the finery, the jingling anklets, the scarves, and the crescents, the pendants, the bracelets, and the veils, the headdresses, the leg ornaments, and the headbands, the perfume boxes, the charms, and the rings, the nose jewels, the festal. What in the hell? The festal apparel, and the mantles, the outer garments, the purses, and the mirrors, the fine linen, the turbans, and the robes. So, obviously, this is more based over in the Middle East. And how do we know? Because of hairdresses. Even though there are Christian women who wear hairdresses, because on a woman, the hair is the beauty. So when they cut it, they're cutting their beauty. Not saying I'm a godly man, because like I said, I've been on demon time for the last decade. But I'm working on myself. The daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with outstretched necks. The women of Judah were proud. They were taking with themselves and loved to consider themselves better than others. The proud heart was the basis for the rest of the sin among the daughters of Zion. To meet their unfound accusations, he lays open the inward disease, which is manifested in the whole of their outward dress. Ooh, sick. So, in contrast, women of God are called to, in lowliness of mind, let each other esteem others better than themselves. I mean, now this you can allude to the Cardi B's of the world, the Meg Thee Stallions, the Amber Roses. That's just Megan Goods of the world, and we have social media to thank for this. As far as being able to see it on full display. Anything that you want to know, the nature of the beast, go to social media and watch it and just understand what it is. See, I think the hard part for a lot of us is the acceptance that this is what it is. It's always been like this, and it's never going to change. I mean, this Bible verse even talks about women being in charge is a curse. It's a curse. And men are becoming so moist that they're allowing women to be in charge. Now, I'm not misogynist. I love women. But I know for the most part, did you hear that? For the most part, most women aren't leaders. Never will be leaders. Like the boss bitches. Most of them aren't leaders. Not saying women can't lead. There are great women leaders. Outstanding women leaders. Outstanding mothers who I don't necessarily condone single motherism, but I was raised by a single mother and I'm still fighting some of those curses. But there are great, outstanding, excellent women who are in charge. But for the most part, mostly, most women are not leaders and should not be in charge. Why? Emotions. A lot of women operate off of their pussy, off of their clitoris, and that tingling sensation between their legs. They go off of that. Not to say that there are a lot of men out here who operate off of the sensations that emanate from their penis. Not saying that that's not true. But the difference and the reason why most men make better leaders is because how we are biologically put together. Men think logically with a reason and therefore can separate emotion when there's a tough decision that needs to be made. Most women, have a difficult time separating logic and reason from emotion. And based off of that fact, that biological fact, that mental makeup of the two sexes is why there has always been more male leadership. I'm not a Bible thumper. Probably based off of the things that I've done, I probably have a first class silk boxes drenched in gasoline, one-way ticket to HE double hockey stick. If that's the case. But I know what facts are. Not all women should be leading. And the Bible even says that. But you'll have women who will say, well, you so old school and this ain't the 1950s and it shouldn't be like that and boss bitch this and boss bitch that. We know what it is. And all I'm going to say is if you come into my life and you want to be a part of my life, if there's a rodent in the house and I set down a glue trap and the rodent gets stuck on the trap and you're screaming and you're jumping on top of furniture and I have to come remove it, you're not in charge. If there's a spider in the house or a roach in the house and I have to come kill it and you're hopped up on top of the L-shaped couch, you're not in charge. If there's a saber-toothed tiger at the front door, we're going to take it back to the caveman reference. If there's a saber-toothed tiger at the front of the cage and you look at me like, honey squirts, you going to get that? But the whole time you've been stamping around and parading that you in charge, I'm going to look right back at you like, Boo Bear, what we going to do? What you going to do? A lot of women who operate off of this frequency right here. Now I have a little delay. But women who operate off of this boss bitch frequency, and it's not all boss bitches. See, bitches can be used similarly to the word nigga, or it can be used similar like the word nigga. It's how you say it. Just like bitches. It's how you say it. Like, some girls be like, oh, yeah, that's my bitch. Like, that's her friend. That's her sis. Or they be like, you fucking bitch. That shit has malicious intent behind it. It's not the word. It's the energy behind it in the context that it's used. Just like nigga. Like, yo, that's my nigga. That's my friend. That's my homie. That's my brother. You know what I mean? But in today's dissertation, boss bitch is code for strong, independent women who operate on this frequency right here that are completely destructive and don't give anything back. They just take. And everything that I've said up until this point, and this has everything to do with the moist men out here too. But today, we're mostly talking about the moist men and the sandy women out here. Let's see, I'm almost done. We're almost there. Because I got to make moves here in a little bit. All right, the women of Judah were sexually seductive and promiscuous. They wanted to leer at men and draw them into sexual immortality with their flirtations. What he adds about wandering eyes denotes shameless lust, which for the most part is expressed by the eyes. For unchaste eyes are the heralds of an unchaste heart, but the eyes of chaste women are sedate and not wandering or unsteady. In contrast, women of God are called to be discreet and unchaste. I mean, yeah. Or even a woman that is with you. She's not going to be out here flirting and putting it out there and throwing it out there for everybody. But we're not even talking about women who are with you or nothing like that. We're just talking about what's going on in this day and time. And I mean, this is evident everywhere you look on social media. And life is imitating social media. And social media is imitating life. They go hand in hand. That's just what it is. They're manipulating each other. Straight up. Like twerking. I've been knowing about the word twerking since I want to say like 8 or 9 years old. I'm 30. So about 20 years ago, or about 20 years. But twerking didn't really come into the mainstream lexicon until about 2012, 2013, when Miley Cyrus started twerking. Miley Cyrus started twerking. Jay-Z made the song, Somewhere in America, Miley Cyrus is still twerking. And then next thing you know, everybody is saying, oh, twerk, 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 twerk. Yeah, you know why, nah, nah, nah. You know what I'm saying? Twerking. And I was just like, that's weird. In the black community, bitches been twerking forever. Forever. This ain't nothing new. It's just new to white people in the rest of the world. Walking and mincing as they go, making and jingling with their feet, The women of Judah were obsessed with finery, luxury, and accessories. They devoted far too much of their lives to their appearance and image. I mean, hey, I prefer plain Jane because I know it's real and it's not enhanced, but it can be obs- excessive. I get it. For emphasis, the prophet declared a list of accessories and luxury items the women of Judah longed for and devoted too much of their lives to. He said apparently there was good shopping in Jerusalem. Uh, I mean, we know that about women. Hypergamy and material items, for the most part, is how to get down. Us men too. Ain't nothing wrong with shining, peacocking, but living your life based off of things that you can't take with you when you die isn't at least the way that I want to live. But I do like having nice things from time to time, and nothing's wrong with that. Therefore, the Lord will strike with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will uncover their secret parts. Their obsession with their appearance, their love of luxury, and their promiscuity made the daughters of Zion ripe for judgment. Their crown will be a scab, and instead of being beautifully adorned, they will be exposed and humiliated. Also, the Lord will take away the finery. In Isaiah's times, these judgments were connected with the coming of invasions. Because of scarcity and disease, the haughty daughters of Zion would be sick and diseased. They would be raped and mutilated, and all of their wonderful accessories would be taken away. Because of their role in the nurture of children, it is important that women of God live and think like women of God. And just morally sound. High morals. We know what's right and what's wrong. Because people live in gray areas. Like this sweatshirt. They live in gray. I don't like gray. I don't ever want to mix black and white. I don't want gray. Black man, white girl, or white girl, black man, white girl, or vice versa. That's cool. Whatever. That's a mulatto. That's tan. But the colors, gray, I don't like that. I don't like that gray area whatsoever. So when it comes to morals, people will operate in gray morals, or they'll operate in gray areas. Like these school shootings. Oh, it was mental health. Everybody got something going on mentally. Sure, I experience mental health every time I wake up after a delicious night of sleep. Every time. I mean, the sleep was love, damn near sex, and 103% magic. And then I get woken up out of my sleep. What is this? And then I get woken up out of my sleep by somebody calling or talking. That contributes to the degeneration of my mental being and well-being. But if Christianity is not your thing, then that's what it's alluding to and speaking on, is raising children in good morals and with good reason, because you got to start them out young. So when these kids come out messed up, or these adults are messed up, you got to look at how they were raised. Da, 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 da. When a woman of a culture become degenerate, then the hope for the next generation is gone. Exactly. But when the women of a culture turn to the Lord and his ways, there is great hope for the future. In short, both men and women are instructed to make a sober use of the gifts of God, both in food and in clothing and in the conduct of life. For the Lord cannot endure extravagance and absolutely must inflict severe punishment on account of it, and for it cannot be restrained by a lighter chastisement. I don't believe that living the way that you want to live is wrong or even punishable. I don't believe that. But it's the worshiping of said items, accessories, ideas, money. It's the worshiping. In my mind. More of the judgment of the Lord on the sinful daughters of Zion. And so it shall be. Instead of a sweet smell, there will be a stench. Ugh. Instead of a sash, a robe. Instead of well set hair, baldness. That sounds like COVID-19. I mean the cold, the great cold. Instead of well set hair, baldness. Instead of a rich robe, a girding of sackcloth and branding instead of beauty. Your men shall fall by the sword, and your mighty in the war. Her gate shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit on the ground. Instead of. The Lord will place their fineries with the marks of captivity and humiliation. Do we realize how quickly God can take it all away? I mean, COVID. It came through like a thief in the night. My uncle always talk about when the barbarian comes to the gate, things gonna switch up. These women gonna come back into the natural role, which is being under a man. That's what it is. That's how we were designed. Man is in charge. They're not ever gonna agree, especially in this time, day and time and age. They're not gonna agree. That is not how they were raised. It's not. Men rule. And like I said, it's been so many competent women rulers. But men is supposed to be the head. More times than not. I know that this stream is gonna get bite back. And honestly, before you say anything, just make sure that you have facts and data to back up what you have to say. Because the way I'm coming is I might don't even respond to you with rhetoric. I might just throw you a link. And if you don't go through the link, then consider the conversation null and void. Your men shall fall by the sword, and your mighty in the war. Without doubt, one reason the daughters of Zion loved all the luxury and finery was because it made them more attractive to men. Always. They do what they do because they want men. That's why some women in my life, I don't deal with them because they say that they want me. But when I have expectations that I share with them, they don't even try. They want what they want, but they don't want to work for it. So you can't expect me to be big bank tank and you don't even want to do what you're supposed to do. If I'm the table and most of the items or everything that's necessary for a Thanksgiving festival, and all I need you to do is bring cutlery, even though I have cutlery, Bring extra cutlery. Don't bring fruit punch. I didn't ask you to bring fruit punch. I didn't ask you to bring an extra turkey. I specifically said bring cutlery. We know this. We know that what they do is for men. They felt they could get men that way, but their ungodly love of luxury and finally resulted in the loss of their men. Most men don't care about that. We like peace. We like quiet. We like freedom. We like women who fit us. Matter of fact, we love women who fit us. I love women who fit me. I don't want to struggle with women who claim they want to be in my life. I don't want to be around women who just like the idea of me. And then when they get to know me, they don't care. They could give two shits about me. I don't need that. I want better for myself. I want better for myself. I believe I deserve better for my life and myself, and for the people around me to even see me doing and being in a place of steady happiness. That's corny. It's corny at best to be dealing with people who don't even like you, who are just there off the validation that they just have another man, because we know how many they've had, so many men, and that's how they get their validation, maybe because they had daddy problems. But someone who is just there to say, oh, I have a man, or I have a man who has some type of interest in me, even though he may not completely be with me, even though monogamous or monogamy in this day and time is not present all the way 100%. Polyamory is what it is. But it's corny. A lot of men don't care about that. A lot of men don't care about how many degrees you have. We care about, are you going to listen to me? Are you going to respect me? Are you going to be a headache? Are you going to be a good vibe? Are you going to actually understand what it is that makes me tick and what gets me through the day? Are you going to be a utility to my life? Am I going to be able to use you in a constructive way? Am I going to be able to have good sex with you? Am I going to be able to enjoy it? Are you going to be a burden on me? And most of the times, the answer is no to all of that. So they're not even worth it. Most of the time, a lot of these women aren't even worth it. A lot of times, most of these women are just sex dolls and should be treated as such. They don't bring anything. A majority of them don't offer anything. A majority of them are so programmed that it's more trouble than it's worth. You be better paying the bachelor tax, because you're gonna pay anyways with your meat, whether it be your money, whether it be your energy, whether it be the attention that you have to pay, or whether it be the time that you have to spend. You're gonna pay regardless. You might as well pay the bachelor tax and deal with them on your own terms, or deal with them like medicine in small dosage. And I got love for you, but from a distance. That's the best way to deal with them in this day and time. A lot of people talk about the divorce rates and how it's so high. But you got to consider, a lot of the people who are still divorced are baby boomers or old Gen Xers. Millennials, we're not getting married. A lot of us are not getting married because we know what it is. We overstand the game. We overstand some things in this society. And there is nothing, there are no incentives for men to be married. There are no incentives whatsoever. It is a jail sentence. It is doing hard time. There are cases, there are some who are the exception to the rule. But what's that saying? The exception does not prove the rule. Or does not change the rule. It doesn't. And last, to end it out, she being desolate shall sit on the ground. A Roman medal struck after Jerusalem's fall shows a Jewish woman being desolate, sitting under a palm tree next to a Roman soldier. This just explained what happened in COVID. That's exactly what just happened. Everything that was said in that article explained it perfectly. To a T. And I don't talk about this to scare anybody, to discourage anybody, because that's never my goal. That's not my goal. Why would that be my goal? Why would my goal be to discourage people from having happiness if that's just so happens to be the happiness that you want to attain? Why would I do that? The goal is to put you up on game and to give you options. I believe life is all about options and being able to explore them. And I think it just sucks to suck that if you don't have options, or I think that it sucks to suck if you are a person, place, or thing or idea that does not have options to take things where you want to take it to. For a long time, I didn't have options when it came to getting money. But I'm changing that. I'm working on it. And I believe everybody should be able to have options. All right, let's go through this last article really quickly. I definitely went over the time period that I wanted to go over because I really need to get on the road here. Here's why your digital footprints are more than a privacy risk. And this title alone scares me. This is coming to us through interestingengineering.com. Who wrote this? That's where the picture came from. I don't see who actually wrote this. All right. They can actually help hackers infiltrate computer networks. When you use the internet, you leave a trail of data, a set of digital footprints behind. These include your social media activities, web browsing behavior, health information, travel patterns, location maps, information about your mobile device use, photos, audio, and video. This data is collected, stored, and analyzed by various organizations, from the big social media companies to apps, to app makers, to data brokers. Also, you might imagine your digital footprints put your privacy at risk, but they also affect cybersecurity. As a cybersecurity researcher, I track the threat posed by digital footprints in cybersecurity. Hackers are able to use personal information gathered online to suss out answers to security challenge questions like, in what city did you meet your spouse? Or to hone phishing attacks by posing as a colleague or work associate. When phishing attacks are successful, they give the attackers access to networks and systems the victims are authorized to use. So, the Cash App thing could potentially have been a phishing attack. Falling footsteps to better bait. Phishing attacks have doubled since early 2020. The success of phishing attacks depends on how authentic the contents of messages appear to the recipient. All phishing attacks require certain information about the targeted people, and this information can be obtained from their digital footsteps. Prints. Hackers can freely available open source intelligence gathering tools to discover the digital footprints of their targets, or they can mine a target's digital footprints, which can include audio and video, to extract information such as contacts, relationships, profession, career, likes, dislikes, interests, hobbies, travel, and frequented locations. They can then use this information to craft phishing messages that appear more like legitimate messages coming from a trusted source. The attacker can deliver these personalized messages, spear phishing emails to the victim, or compose as the victim and target the victim's colleagues, friends, and family. Spear phishing attacks can fool even those who are trained to recognize phishing attacks. One of the most successful forms of phishing attacks has been business email compromise attacks. In these attacks, the attackers pose as people with legitimate business relationships, colleagues, vendors, and customers, to initiate fraudulent financial transactions. A good example is an attack targeting the firm Ubiquity Networks Incorporated in 2015. The attacker sent emails which looked like they were coming from top executives to employees. The email requested the employees to wire transfers, resulting in fraudulent transfers of $446.7 million. Sheesh. Access to the computer of a victim of a phishing attack can give the attacker access to networks and systems of the victim's employer and clients. For instance, one of the employees at retailer Target's HVAC vendor fell victim to a phishing attack. The attackers used his workstation to gain access to Target's internal network and then to their payment network. The attackers used the opportunity to infect point-of-sale systems used by Target and steal data of 70 million credit card. I think I actually remember that. What to do about this problem? Computer security company Trend Micro found that, let me save this real quick before. Found that 91% of attackers in which the attackers gained undetected access to networks and used that access over time started with phishing messages. Verizon's data breach investigations report found that 25% of all data breach incidents include phishing. Given the significant role played by phishing and cyber attacks, I believe it's important for organizations to educate their employees and members about managing their digital footprints. This training should cover how to find the extent of your digital footprints, how to browse securely, and how to use social media responsibly. So, envious ones. Envious ones. If you see anything online that's sus, the right arm of the Fresh Prince is all that needs to be said. That's all that needs to be done. Okay? That's all that needs to be done. The arm of the Fresh Prince, the right arm of the Fresh Prince. Because we're not going down like that. We're not going out like that. Protect yourself. Protect your assets. Ask questions. I'm lagging here a little bit, so I'm trying to wait until that smooths out. Clearing up RAM. But we need to be vigilant in protecting ourselves. We're too valuable to go down like that. We're living in a new time and a new era. So if you're getting suspect messages from your friends, you need to talk to them personally and let them know. I know of at least 2 people in the last 6 months who've had their Instagram accounts hacked. One got taken over, and this person was messaging everybody, and I made the mistake of trying to get back at them and talk horse shit to them. Now, luckily, nothing has been hacked over here. And let me transition this one more time, see if it'll get back to what it needs to be. And that didn't do anything. It did. Cool. The other one, her IG got taken over completely, and I messaged her. Mind you, I hadn't talked to her in years. And I messaged her on Facebook, and I said, hey, your IG is hacked. And she said, okay, thank you. And hopefully she shut it down. But when you get weird messages on your phones, your emails, and like they said, even from trusted sources, the best advice that we can give you is, if it looks weird, don't click it. Don't let curiosity kill that meow meow. Straight up. Do your best. And do all the things that you need to do to protect yourself. So let's go ahead and wrap this show up today. All right. The isms. Don't expect to get your flowers and your roses while you're alive. Don't even worry about it. Don't think about it. Most people don't get their roses and their flowers while they are alive. And that's okay. That's just the nature of the beast. You keep on doing what you're doing. Because, like from the article, the second to last article, the penultimate article that we went through, if you're doing right, it will come back to you. It will come back to you. If you're doing wrong, that'll come back to you. It's called karma. Good and bad karma. Word of the day. Fumbalism means the tightrope. Walk on tightropes. Then we ran straight into the topic about 12 injured in shooting at South Carolina Mall. 3 were detained. Then after that, we talked about Keisha Lance Bottoms being rejected out of a upscale restaurant because they have standards and they don't like people walking in their establishments with leggings. I said leggings, because they want to refine the atmosphere, and that did not match what they have going on. So that's not cool that you went up on Twitter and then you blasted them. That was itchy at best. That's effed up. Do better. Shouldn't have went to their shit in leggings. Next, we ran through a little bit of Isaiah chapter 3, which is dubbed the sins of Judah. And we talked about everything from shortages of food and water and competent and incompetent leaders to why Judah is ripe for judgment. Then a little bit more that we talked about God's cases against Judah, so their ill treatment of the poor. More specifically, why when she sent this article to me, what she was alluding to and talking to was, and I mean, we talked about all of this stuff. We talk about it all the time when we do talk. The sinful women of Judah and the judgment of the Lord against them. Everything's happening right now. It's already happened. This is just what it is. It's better to know and understand it than to be mad about it. You can be mad about it, but don't let it deter you from where you're going and what you want to do. You just have to adjust. And that article basically ended with the judgment and the penalties for the thought culture that is going on. And we rounded out the show with digital footprints and why they're more harmful than just your privacy. I mean, they harm your privacy because, for example, you may have security questions on an account. And if you're leaving digital footprints that are easy to track and round up, which we all have, they can figure out the questions to what's the color of your house and things like that. So let's become more savvy in the way that we operate online. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Don, Senator of Smooth and Rude, coming to you live from the 7-5. Why? Because we global, baby. Yeah. And this is the Mansion in the Sky podcast, where we build a land while we drive it. And always remember to become envious, which is unconquerable and influential in every single aspect of our lives. And I'll see you next time. Signal out.